Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, no longer California, Los Angeles to be pseudo-specific. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Friday, September 5th, 2025. In this right here, you know what it is. It's Strictly Football, and we're going to talk about all things football. So let's go ahead and jump into the program here on the Unhappy Hour.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Let's bring in Mike Barra, Seahawk boy Mike B. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you, Brian? It was a good game last night. Very entertaining.
It was, and I was very, very happy that Jalen Hurts got me 2 rushing touchdowns for my Dynasty Football League. Saquon got me a touchdown for my other league. It was nice seeing Jahan Dotson get back going on. He led the team in receiving for the Eagles, by the way, but we'll get to the game. We'll break that down. But I'm a fantasy football geek. Mike's like, I don't want to talk fantasy football too much. So we'll try to split the difference if we will.
Well, in fantasy football, Justin Jefferson is a great player. That shows you how fucked up fantasy football is.
Well. Oh, wait, what are you saying about Justin Jefferson? That he's not a great player?
He's nothing but a fan. But this is funny because I got into I'm still in a major Twitter flame war because I pointed out that Justin Jefferson doesn't ever make plays when it counts. So, it was pretty rough. So we can talk about that.
Absolutely. Let's bring in Jim Mitchell as well. Jim is going to unveil his list. He's got a whole bunch of how do you phrase it? Do you say historical football trends? Do you say gambling trends, betting tips? Like, how do you phrase it exactly?
All three apply. I mean, It all works.
All right. Well, good. That's what we're here to talk about today.
If we don't fix it, you don't pay.
That's a good tagline. I like it. By the way, take a look. Strictly Football. We're working on a whole bunch of images, and we should have we should have a whole bunch of stuff coming up with an intro and everything. This was our
theme song. Yeah.
Oh, I got music. I got everything. It's just I had 2 computer glitches. I tried to do it again today, and it took me an extra 25 minutes. So we'll try to get it for episode 3, but make sure you check out episode 1 of season 2 of Strictly Football. That was Brian Engelman, Mike Barra, Jim Mitchell, and Ezrael Robinson. That is out there, and we discuss basically what you can expect for this upcoming season. So the show gave us what it gave us last time, which was a whole bunch of recapping, not a lot of looking forward to this week per se. So, Mike, where do you want to start things? Should we go ahead and, by the way, I'd like to introduce everybody. I don't know if you can see him. Do you see my cat giving me a headbutt? He's literally saying, hey, buddy. I'm like, hi, pal. He came up at an early dinner. He's happy. That's Mr. Nimbus for everybody out there at home. So, Mr. Nimbus, I presume. So, Mike, let me turn it to you. What are you thinking? Should we pull up Jim's list, or do you want to talk about last night's game first?
No, I think we talk about last night's game, preview tonight's game, and then we'll do the betting stuff. And
awesome.
Your fantasy shiz.
And your fantasy fiddle-de-doo. Let's talk about that. That was a very good game. My prediction was right. Did everybody here predict Eagles in our...
Jim, I don't think Jim did. Jim, did you?
Oh, no.
Didn't you take the Cowboys?
Jim, the betting guy, did not get...
I forget.
Well, I got it marked here. No, I had the Eagles straight up.
Okay. I had the Eagles as well, so I'm 1-0 on the... I'm undefeated on the season. Watch out, Mike.
We're all 1-0. We're all 1-0. Oh, no, I was thinking, Jim, didn't you take the Chargers tonight? Isn't that what it was? You took the Chargers for tonight's game?
No, I have Kansas City tonight. I marked it on my sheet, but I still don't have the betting graphic here.
Yeah, you just got to get that one. You just got to get a NFL. What is it called?
Yeah. It's called NFL Game Picker. NFL Game Picker.
You just got to go open the account there.
Jim, are you going to be able to go to NFL Game Picker, enter your email, get the code, set it up, and do the first batch so we can all do it every week?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's no problem.
Awesome. So let's talk about the game. What did we learn? I mean, we learned that I think I learned Jalen Hurts we've been sleeping on Jalen Hurts. Now he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And look, the guy just knows how to play. He knows how to win. What did you take away, Mike?
Well, interesting that you brought that up, because if you share the screen that I've got there right now,
Yes, I will.
I came away from this game really impressed with just how Jalen Hurts handled himself. He looks like an NFL quarterback now. You know, he's won the Super Bowl. He looks like he's in charge. He knows what he's doing out there. But then you look at his passing chart, and people were saying this is his passing chart from yesterday. Looks like a Geno Smith passing chart where every pass is within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Now, some of those throws are, you know, he's pretty deep in the pocket, so he's throwing 15 or 20 yards, but only one deep pass. But keep in mind that deep pass was extremely accurate, very well thrown ball. But you know, people are saying, "Oh, come on, you guys are saying that this guy is an elite quarterback." He's not, but he is, because now you have to factor in the running ability. And you know, when he didn't make a play, didn't need to make a play, or couldn't make a play with his arm, and AJ Brown was completely out of the game plan. I think he caught a ball in the last minute, and that was it. 2 minutes or so. But Jalen Hurts can make plays with his feet too. So you have to factor, to my mind, everything in there as a complete package now, because so many quarterbacks can run. So I felt like he was really, really good. But there were a lot of people saying, hey, look, you know, if you look at the long run, what's going to haunt the Eagles is that you know, this new offensive coordinator, I forget the guy's name, that was not, you know, a great. It's not a great offense. That's going to be a big problem for the Eagles. But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the Eagles score 30 points last night or something? 28. I mean,
it was 24-20.
24-20. So that, you know,
and it's Kevin. The guy's name, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, is Kevin Patullo.
Yeah, Kevin Patullo. So people were saying that, but I mean, 24 points all on offense. There weren't any defensive scores. I think the Eagles are looking okay. The thing to me you have to be really concerned about is the center, and I know his name, and I'm having a senior moment and forgetting his name. That's injured. Who's their center that took over for Kelsey?
Oh, is it
Cam Jurgens?
No.
Oh, is it Bill Berge?
No.
Wait, hold on. The Philadelphia Eagles' current starting center is Cam Jurgens?
Yeah, but it's the right guard. Trevor, what? I don't know. God, why can't I remember? But anyway, the
Tyler Steen.
No, the guy who got hurt, the guy with the name. Come on, guys.
Hey, I'm searching everything you're telling me. Eagles OT that got injured.
If I could only remember all the names of the team's players like I used to be able to.
Landon Dickerson.
Thank you. One of the
I got you. I just need better guidance, Mr. Mike.
Interior lineman. Landon Dickerson getting hurt. You know, I think really it looks like he's got a chronic back problem, or one that's going to if I was them, I'd seriously, now that they're up 1-0 and they have a mini bye, I'd think about putting him on short-term IR. I think they can do a 4-week IR thing, or just sit him out for 4 weeks and let that back heal up. Because without him, I mean, he is a bone crusher on that offensive line. So I think that's a concern. And then, of course, the other thing we haven't talked about yet, Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott, getting kicked out of the game before the game even starts. Look, a bunch of dumbasses on Seahawks Twitter, right? Like Brian Nemhauser, Hawk blogger. Oh, I can't wait for them to draft Jalen Carter. Well, this is exactly fucking why teams didn't draft Jalen Carter, and why a guy with top 3 talent ended up going 9th overall, and probably should have gone lower than that. Because he does idiotic, stupid stuff, and you know, he's trying to accuse Dak Prescott of spitting at him first, which is about as credible as when Myles Garrett said,
No. We're not doing that.
No.
Myles was getting attacked by 3 people, and he was backpedaling. He was backpedaling away when he swung in defense. I will take that with me, but we'll set that aside.
Myles Garrett Njigba said that Mason Rudolph called him an N-bomb, and he did not. That's a lie.
Myles Garrett Njigba.
That's a lie. And Dak admitted, I kind of spit. He goes, but I spit all the time during the game. So anyway, those were the 3 things that I thought were takeaways. I think Jalen Hurts looks really good. Landon Dickerson is, thank you for helping me remember the name. Landon Dickerson is a problem. I would sit him out until he's completely healthy if I was them, and just roll with it for a couple games. And Jalen Carter, what an idiot! So,
what an absolute idiot. By the way, Kevin Patullo took over after Kellen Moore left the Eagles to become the head coach of the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're following the coaching tree there.
But I think it bears watching, how efficient the Eagles offense was. And they couldn't they only, like I said, A.J. Brown had one catch late in the game. He just disappeared. So that's got to be on the offensive coordinator. Believe me, after years of Seahawks offensive coordinator. So that's kind of what I thought about watching.
Lots of thoughts. Jim, what did you take away from the game? And were you guys watching it together over pizza with no pineapple?
No pineapple, no pizza.
Jim and I really don't like each other. We really don't like it. James Mitchell, Nick Jigba, and Mike Barron, Nick Jigba. We just don't really like each other.
I love how everybody's in Jigba.
We try to avoid. Yes, Brian Engelman, Nick Jigba. Yeah, we try to avoid hate.
Yeah, try saying that 3 times fast. Jim, what was your takeaway?
Yeah, the Jalen Carter thing was just, I haven't seen anything like that since Bill Romanowski. I think when he spit on John Taylor probably 25 years ago.
Remember Roberto Alomar spit on an umpire. That was his nickname. His name was Spitz Alomar. And then he became a Cleveland Indian after that, so I loved him. That was on the Orioles, I think he did that. But anyway, spitting's not great.
I'll have to believe you on that, Brian. I don't watch baseball. It's kind of like watching grass grow, I don't bet it. It's hard to bet. But I haven't seen any, since Romanowski did that. And as far as getting suspended from the game, getting kicked out, he needs to do an additional at least 2 more games. That's just, credit Prescott for, I'm sure he's not going to win that fight if he takes his helmet off. But I'm telling you what, if somebody honks a loogie on me, I'll fight till I'm dead. That's just bad. And I think Prescott probably, he pulled in his emotions and took one for the team on that. But, and then they show Carter's face, right after he did it. And he's like, what did I do? Give me a break.
Yeah, you spit on a guy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But, by the way, since you pulled it up, let's just let's take a look at
face. Here's play before. That's J.J. Stokes, I think.
There you go. He's in his
talking to Bill Romanowski.
And Romanowski doesn't like it.
Ooh, and there is a real lack of social
into
graces on the part of
Stokes. That was that one. And then, of course, the one before that, if I can go back.
Nice.
This is Roberto Alomar. He's on the Orioles. He gets called out. He goes up into his face. He's arguing with the ump. He gets kicked out, gets in his face, and kablamo, spits all over his face. So it's not the first time that spitting in someone's face has occurred, but it's gross.
Those are ancient history, and it just shows a hothead. That's like, Jim, that's like something I would have expected DK Metcalf to do in a game, And it's why teams. Jalen Carter was not on the Seahawks board in the first round. And everybody, all these dumb shits on Seahawks Twitter had, Seahawks are going to take Jalen Carter. And I'm like, no, they're not, because they don't take chances on guys with bad football character. And wow, I just couldn't believe that. Jim, what did you think about how the Cowboys played, and especially Dak last night? I thought they looked pretty good.
I think the Cowboys played well. In fact, the last 2-3 minutes of the game, CeeDee Lamb drops 3 passes. And at least 2 of those 3 were right in the breadbasket, and I know he's in double coverage, but earn your paycheck, my friend. He catches one of those balls, it's a first down, it goes into the 2-minute warning, and they score. They win the game.
Mm-hmm.
They had momentum.
You're right.
And of course the thunderstorms. There's lightning 15 miles away. We got to go in the locker room.
Yeah,
open me a can of slack. They would have never done that 10 years ago. Give me a break.
You notice how much more common that is now? It's like, what? really, when's the last time a stadium got struck by lightning during a football game? I'll give you the answer. Never. It's never happened. It might happen someday, but it's never happened.
Well, this must be
Christ's
with the actuaries. This must be with the insurance companies forcing their hand. But I've been in event promoting, and I did an outdoor festival 3 years ago. And man, I had my fingers crossed because, like, what do you do with all the electric equipment out there? Everybody's plugged in. Thank God we had great weather, but if we didn't, I mean, we can't really continue. We shouldn't, even if we're covered. But I mean, there was another preseason game that was suspended this year because somebody got seriously injured. I'd never heard of that until Damar Hamlin, but now they did that again.
And the Goo Goo Dolls did a concert about 10 years ago in Buffalo, where they're from. Pouring down rain, like a shower. It was like a shower. They played the whole show anyway, plugged in. They didn't give it.
And I remember Gavin Rossdale and Bush doing a very famous one. Prince did it at the Super Bowl. It was raining.
Yeah.
If I recall.
It's all optics.
Yeah.
No,
but you're right.
I'm sorry. We were playing baseball, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, holding a big well, that's a wooden rod, not a metal one like in college. But
yeah, and why can't we play baseball in the rain again?
I don't know.
That's a fair question to ask. Let me give a couple of quick thoughts on the game. Like I said, Jahan Dotson, the wide receiver that used to be on the Commanders, and he was a high draft pick out of Penn State. I was super happy for him. I drafted him in Dynasty, and he's just kind of languished over the past few years. He led the team with 59 yards receiving, not a lot, but he's kind of settled into a role on the Eagles. He's someone you'd want to keep your eye on. Javonte Williams, bravo to that young man taking over at running back for the Dallas Cowboys. I drafted him years ago in my Dynasty Football League, and he's been injured, and he's been on the Denver Broncos. He's been underwhelming. 2 touchdowns last night, back in business. I love when players that kind of stumbled out of the gates are able to settle in. I just, whether it's Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold or Javonte Williams, it's hard. It's hard to be a professional. And I root for the players that keep going and finally get their shot and make the most of it. So,
I got to just tag on to something Jim said, because I agree with you 100%. CeeDee Lamb, I see these lists of him as a top 5 or top 10 receiver, and I just don't see it. I've never seen it. I don't see a guy who makes tough catches in traffic. I don't see a guy who's got guts. I don't see a guy who's willing to put it all on the line for a game. I see another wide receiver diva, and you can say what you want about Ocho Cinco and guys like that, but man, they were tough. They took hits. This guy doesn't do any of that stuff. And he drops 3 balls at critical times in the game. Now, in defense of Justin Jefferson, I will say I've never seen him drop a ball in a big game, but why are they paying this guy? It's like Amari Cooper. Remember how great Amari Cooper was? They're just, CeeDee Lamb is just, to me, he's a top 20 talent, but I wouldn't really want him on my team because you can't count on him.
He's not a smart player. I mean, when the camera pans to him, he's like, 80% of the time he's deer in the headlights. He's just got that vacant look on his face. And not for nothing, Chad Johnson was a real smart player. Aside from his antics, I mean, he was a funny dude, but he could play ball, and he was not a stupid person. Chad Johnson, I mean, he could carry a conversation with anybody. But CeeDee Lamb, I mean, they pan to him, and he looks like he doesn't know what the hell is going on.
Let me ask this question. Who had a dumber look on their face, CeeDee Lamb or Arch Manning when they got beat by the Buckeyes? He looked weird every time I looked at him. Like, what is wrong with this? I get you're playing in Ohio State.
He looked like he was on meth. He looked like he was on meth. Remember that guy? What was that? Was it Riche Caldwell who played for the Patriots for 1 year? And they flashed him, and his eyes are dilated like bowling balls. I'm like, dude, what meth are you on, man?
Look like Mike Singletary coming over the line. Singletary had that look.
Oh, yeah.
I think
one of the most intimidating looks.
Yeah.
Too. He was probably on meth most of the time too. So,
yeah, Rashard Caldwell. He reminded me of Singletary's look.
I can remember Riche Caldwell's name, but I can't remember Landon Dickerson's name.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, middle to older age is just wonderful stuff.
No. But look, we have more index cards we have to reference through. It just takes a little bit longer. We have more index cards of things to remember.
Well, I had made a note to myself I was going to bring that up, and I remembered Landon Dickerson, and then when I get here to open my mouth, I completely forget his name. It's like,
Let me address Kyle Siebert audio. He says start two, Shakir or Coleman, Myers, Ollie, Gordon. I'm going to say Myers and Gordon. That's what I'm saying there.
yeah.
Going Myers and Gordon.
Reno Hightower. That's an old joke. CD couldn't spell cat if you spotted in the C and the T. You remember, whose joke that was originally? That was Thomas Hollywood Henderson to the Dallas Cowboys before, I think, Super Bowl 6 or 7 with the Cowboys. And he said, Terry Bradshaw is so dumb he couldn't spell cat if you spotted in the C and the A. That was great. Thomas Hollywood Henderson, by the way, who won the lottery twice. He won a $10 million lottery and a $6 million lottery.
I heard they named Henderson, Nevada after him. He's so
How
lucky.
the hell does that happen? Yeah, because he bought the place. Anyway.
All right. Do we want to talk about tonight's game? Any other final thoughts on the game yesterday, or just we want to bounce?
No. I thought
let's
the
go.
Cowboys played well. The Cowboys looked better than I thought they were going to look.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually had a Twitter exchange with Richard Sherman last night, and
Really?
Yeah, we were talking about CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Carter, and he said, look, the Seahawks would take Carter if they could get him, and I was like, Rich, I don't know, buddy. I mean, they passed on him just because of stuff like that. So yeah, it was fun. Richard Sherman is a cool guy.
By the way, I don't know if I referenced it last season, but I had a Twitter exchange with Jason Kelsey. I called him out for being at he was at the Browns Denver Broncos game on Thursday night. And I was like, bro, why are you wearing a Denver jersey? You're from Cleveland. And he responded with a really thoughtful response. I appreciate it.
It's always fun. It's always fun when they do that.
I got into one with Shannon Sharp when Art Modell died, because I kind of hammered pretty hard, and Shannon's like, "Oh, come on, man. You know Art Modell. He's a good guy." I'm like, "No, he's not a good guy. He stole my damn team. Like, that's his legacy." But yeah, it's great when you can just connect with all the players instantly. It's so fun.
Jim can see Shannon Sharp taking out his garbage from his own front yard. Jim Mitchell.
Yeah.
Can.
No.
And Marshawn's right around the corner. Beast is right around the corner.
You did say that. You did say that.
When you come over for pizza, Brian, you can. I'll walk you across the street. You can address him in person.
I can go to Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
You have some tequila in the garage at Club Shay Shay, and we can talk about Art
Sherm,
Modell.
you know what? I want to say this, Sherm, if you're watching, man, you got to move to Vegas. This is where all the fun happens. You got to move here, buddy.
Hey, now. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's bounce to tonight's game. Oh, I wanted to add one point. Miles Sanders. It was nice to see him getting another shot, but that fumble that he had on the Cowboys really screwed him over big time.
You're right. And, look, when you get down to the 5-yard line, you don't bring in the backup running back. That's a Seahawk thing to do. You don't do that. So.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I guess how close were we on these betting tips with yesterday's game? Cowboys, Eagles, 7.5. Any of these make sense? Were any of them good info or bad info?
7.5 was too many points. The over under, they didn't come close on the over under, right?
Yeah, well, it went to 8.5, and
yeah.
The bet obviously was the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But the trends were all over the board. That's why I didn't play the game. I mean, they were good and bad on both sides.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you think, Jim? Why don't you go through? Can you read that, Jim, or do you want to read it off yourself?
No, I've got it here.
Yeah. Chiefs Chargers.
You want to talk Chiefs Chargers?
Let's do that.
Yeah,
I'm assuming this
in
is
Brazil.
I'm assuming
in
this
Brazil.
is an outdoor game. This is an outdoor game, right?
Yes, in Brazil, outdoors, on YouTube only.
Sao Paulo.
Yeah, so essentially these are both road teams tonight. The stats on this, the Chiefs are still -3. And the over-under, if you care to play that, is went from 45.5. It's now 47.5 at Boyd Sports. So the number is going up on the over-under.
And by the way, for reference, yesterday's 20-24 game, that's a 44 over-under, just for comparison. It feels like, we had a little bit of scoring, not a ton, but, that's how you get to 44.
Yeah,
47
that game,
not too high.
That game went under.
Mm-hmm.
That was that closed at 47.5. The game last night, so that was an under game. Tonight's game, Andy Reid is 26-4 straight up in September,
That's
which
a
is a big
trend.
number.
Yeah.
That divides down to what, 13-2? Yeah, I mean that is. But Andy Reid's he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Like,
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is 18-2 straight up in September,
Wow.
which essentially equates to 9-1. So,
mhm.
but the Chiefs are 5-9 against the spread in last year, the last 14 games against the spread, and 3 is that magic number, and that's what the game is on, is 3. Patrick Mahomes is 28-10-1 straight up as a favorite of 3 or fewer points or as an underdog. So that's a good number. That's almost a 3-1 number. Patrick Mahomes is straight up 19-1 on the road versus the AFC West.
Wow.
19-1. So he pretty much owns his division on the road. Mahomes is 35-5 straight up versus the AFC West. The Super Bowl loser every year is 6-19 against the spread in week 1. So that goes against the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got an additional stat here that's not on your sheet that I pulled the other night. Jim Harbaugh is 5-0 straight up in week 1 in the NFL.
He's been in the NFL. Wait a minute. He's been on the Chargers for 2 years?
It's his second year.
And so
This
3
is
on the
second
9.
year, but he was with Santa Clara. But
Yeah.
then they were San Francisco.
Okay, fair. We'll call him the San Francisco for that era.
He was with San Francisco. He's 5-0 straight up in week 1 in the NFL.
Okay.
So
Which
he starts well.
are there one of these that stands out most to you that you feel better about than the others?
As far as what I have here,
like, how do you read the tea leaves on this? If you shake the cup and dump it, what do the tea leaves look like to you?
the tea leaves look like I'm not playing the game because A, they're not playing a home or road game in the United States, and 2, they're playing in Brazil. This game could go either way. It's I will not play this game. Although if this game were in Los Angeles, where it should be, I would be on the Chiefs on this one because three is a pretty good number, and it could very well hit on 3. I mean, if the Chiefs if the Chiefs win by 3, the worst you're going to do is get your money back on this game if you have a straight bet. But I would lay the 3 points against the Chargers with the Chiefs.
Gotcha.
But not in Brazil.
Yeah, that's just too much of a wild card.
There's too many variables. I mean, what kind of dinner did they have last night? I mean, what kind of food are they eating? I mean,
They better fly their own shit in and have their own chefs if they're smart. They better have. You don't drink the water.
That is absolutely true. Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
I saw Kim Jong-un went to a meeting and he brought his own toilet because he didn't want to leave DNA behind. I just saw it 2 days ago. Like, you bring your own food and you take your own former food. You take your own stuff.
Jim, I don't know. I'm thinking of adding this to my money line. To my money line parlay because those September stats for Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are so good, and the only counter to that really is Harbaugh in week 1, and 5-1 is still pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I realize there's all those weird things, but
I don't like that Super Bowl loser number either.
Yeah, no, I don't like that, and the Jim Harbaugh 5-0, but I don't know.
But if you got the money line, you're not concerned about that's against the spread number.
Yeah, the spread I wouldn't give the 3 points because of the. That's kind of. Sorry, go ahead.
That means the game's got to end on a 1 or a 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
if you're betting the money line. If you're going to throw out that stat, you're banking on the game ending on a 1 or a 2.
Yeah. Interesting. So I don't know what to think about this game now, but
I'm excited. What time is it on? It's at 7 or 8.
It's 5 p.m. Pacific, so it's 8 p.m. Eastern. So
Okay.
it'll be there. They're an hour later, so it will be 9 Eastern, or 8 Eastern. So it will feel like it'll just feel like an evening game for both teams, and everybody's body clocks are. Their athletes' body clocks are ideally suited to play at that time. The night games are the best time to play. That's when athletes tend to play their best. So I don't think that the time zones or anything is going to have any effect on this game at all. So
all right. Well, I'm excited to watch it. So YouTube, I just reached out to somebody earlier today. I go, do you know you still have an account for NBC Peacock or something? Because I went on my TV and it said watch the game, and I thought it was just going to everything is so weird. Everybody used to have cable. Now nobody does. And we all have services that are 10 or 15 bucks a month. And we have I literally had no idea. I go, Thursday night. I have no idea what network this is on. Who has this? What night of the week? Who's broadcasting it?
you need that. You need
YouTube, Yahoo. It's all over.
Rocket app that finds all your subscriptions for you and cancels them. That's what you need, man.
But I know what it was. It must have been, hey, to watch this game, you got to sign up for Peacock only. And that's what they do. They get you, and then you forget about it. You're like,
well, if you want my Peacock login, I'll give it to you.
All right. Fair enough. I'll take that. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that game tonight. Football's finally back. Thank you, everybody, for finding us and following us. At the bottom of the screen, we are scrolling our X feed for the Strictly Football Show. It's at TNAM Football. That's for the New American Media. At TNAM Football, that's the Strictly Football X feed. Follow myself at Twist of Nothing, at the Unhappy Hour _ and at American _media _. I'm going to put Mike's in here in a second, and we're going to keep trying to get Jim to sign him up. Are we going to sign Jim up for an X account? We'll just make a ghost account for him.
We need to, because Jim should be putting this stuff out on X and charging subscribers for it. Jim, that's once you get a certain amount of followers, then your information can become subscription only, and you can make a little bit of money off of all these tips. Why not try?
All right, Mike. We'll talk about that maybe Sunday night. All right.
All right.
Perfect. Good. All right. Do we want to go through the rest of the games?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes. Let's go on. Next game is Steelers favored by 3 against the Jets on the road. Jim.
Steelers and Jets. This opened at 3. It went to 2.5. I believe yesterday at Boyd
That makes
Sports.
sense to me. I think it's going to be a lot closer.
Statistically, this should be a low-scoring game. The over/under on this is 38.5, which is one of the lowest numbers. I've just got one strong statistic on this game. The Jets are 3-9 straight up the first 2 weeks of the season.
They've been awful the past few years.
So
I'm always curious on some of these streaks, how far we could extrapolate them back. Back to, how long do we have to go back before the Jets were good? Like back to what, Bill Parcells maybe? I'm trying to remember last time the Jets were relevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
they haven't made the playoffs in 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what happens when you pick guys like Robert Saleh for your head coach.
The Jets were pretty good under Rex Ryan,
Okay, yeah.
It's a mix as what you want to think about Rex Ryan. I think he was a good coach. Granted, he was defensively minded, but he took them, I think, to the AFC Championship game with
he did. Mark Sanchez.
Butt fumble.
Sanchez.
Yeah, they beat the Patriots in the divisional round and went to the AFC Championship. So so I mean, it's been since Rex Ryan. Let's go have a fucking snack, as Rex used to say. Jim. The thing is, this game just screams at me: Steelers. Aaron Rodgers' revenge game versus Justin Fields' revenge game. Who do you think's going to win that? A lot of people are saying the Steelers are better than I think they are. And Elijah Vera Tucker, the Jets' best offensive lineman, is lost for the season with a torn tricep. Second season-ending injury this guy's had in his career. One of the guys that they always used to brag about that they got in the Jamal Adams trade with the Seahawks. Well, He doesn't seem like he can stay healthy. So yeah, I think this game is Steelers all the way. Would you bet this game, Jim?
I like this game. I may put it on my parlay. I wouldn't play the money line on this. Going from 3 to 2.5. I would go ahead and lay the 2.5. I think that's a fair number, and I think the Steelers are going to win the game.
See, now I believe I have the Jets on this one. I think they're going to be better than people think. Yes, I'm looking here on my feed. I did pick the Jets to win this one. We're going to see. We'll see how it goes. But I think Aaron Rodgers definitely has plenty in the tank. So
yeah, I better get up to Suncoast Casino here and make my bets before the day is over, before the game starts.
And Powerball Mega Millions. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
Still haven't opened that account yet, Mike?
No, I do have an account, but I'm just gonna. I don't know. I like going up to the casino for some reason. I don't know.
That's how they pay their power bill, Mike.
I'm weird.
You walking in the casino,
sucking up their air conditioning, Jim.
sucking up the air conditioning and pumping those quarters in the slot machines. That's how they pay the power bill in there.
All right, so you're thinking taking the Steelers, and you're thinking of betting that game. All right, Dolphins, Colts, 1.5 point favorites at home against
Dolphins and Colts. This could be a corner football game because there is nothing good to say actually about both of these teams in this game. This game opened at 1.5 Colts, and I believe it's still 1.5. Yes, it is. The over-under is 46.5. So they're looking at this as being a high-scoring game. Tua is 2-9 straight up as a dog. The Dolphins are 8-21 against the spread as an underdog. But I love this number. The Colts are 0-10-1 straight up in week 1.
Wow. They
haven't won a football game in 11 years in week 1.
Oh my God.
That sounds like the Cleveland Browns. It's not much different.
And who's the quarterback for the Colts again? Who are they starting?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Well, I kind of like Daniel Jones. Wow. I ain't touching this game. I want to take the Dolphins, but I wouldn't touch this game because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, if they started Richardson, it'd probably be Dolphins -1.5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Daniel Jones is playing.
Yeah. Brian, what do you think? You touching that game? You putting any money on that?
You know, I think the Colts are going to be better than people think. I really do. I think they're going to be a little bit better.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, I don't know. If the Dolphins are firing on all cylinders, like they could theoretically be a wild card playoff team. But like you said, Mike, you think they're going to be looking for a new head coach in the offseason.
Yeah.
I literally don't know what I'm getting out of the Dolphins. How is Tua going to last a couple quarters before he's done? Could he play a whole season? I don't know that I've ever seen it. So
yeah,
Tua's going to be fine as long as the temperature is over 70 degrees. You know, and they're playing indoors. You know, as soon as it's 40 degrees or less, Tua is going to lose the game.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I really like the Dolphins, but in that game,
I like the Dolphins in this game too, but
not enough to put money on.
I don't know if I like it enough to put it on my ticket.
Yeah.
By the way, if I could tell you, I said the Browns aren't much different. Since the Browns returned to the NFL in 1999, their season opener record out of 26 games, gentlemen, were 2-23-1. 2-23-1 since 1999.
I'm writing that down. 2-23-1.
2-23-1.
In week
Good
1. That's straight up.
Yeah, and that is since 1999, since the Cleveland Browns returned after being stolen to Baltimore.
Wow.
Absolutely lunatic statistics on that one. 2-23 and a tie.
That's a good number, Brian. That's good.
I mean,
that's good Browns knowledge right there.
Yeah, in 2018, we tied the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tyrod Taylor, Josh Gordon forced overtime, but both teams missed field goals. So crazy. All right, Panthers, Jaguars. It's the cat battle. Maybe it's Nimbus versus Mr. Bean for me. I have this cat battle in my house all the time. Cat versus cat. Panthers, Jaguars. By the way, before we get to the cats, I wanted to address a couple comments here because we're starting to move fast past the topic. Reno Hightower said, "Did Jim Harbaugh leave Michigan over cheating?" What do you guys think?
In the same way that Pete Carroll left USC over cheating. Now, Pete Carroll didn't cheat in that particular case. Reggie Bush was taking money to throw games, but he knew what was going to happen, and he knew the sanctions that were coming. So when the Seahawks knocked on his door, he went off. In Harbaugh's case, I think he was just ready. He had won the national championship. He did what he came there to do. He was ready to move on. And yeah, they cheated, but.
And also, didn't they buy Reggie Bush's mom a house in Southern California?
Yeah, there was
something about that. So.
But
this was prior Kim Kardashian, so he wasn't.
About $400 million came in mob money came in on Texas the night before the 2006 NCAA championship game and completely flipped the line. And Reggie Bush miraculously was running wide open for a touchdown in a game USC already led by 10 in the fourth quarter. And then with nobody on him, turned around and lateraled the ball backwards so Texas could recover it and they could win the game. So you figure that one out.
Yeah, but time heals everything, Mike. They gave him back his Heisman Trophy.
Hi, Susan. Hi, Susan Gratz. Great to have Susan here.
By the way, Reno Hightower also says, why are NFL games taken out of the United States anyway? I look at the economic impact of removing NFL games out of the U.S. Goodell is woke AF. What do you make of games leaving the continental United States? And are we just eventually going to have an expansion into other countries? It's inevitable.
Well, Brian, it's like Don Ohlmeyer said, the answer to all your questions is money.
Don Ohlmeyer, he's the one that fired Norm Macdonald.
Yes, when he was at NBC, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Money.
Look, here's the thing. This is all about growth. Okay. In the United States, 70% of the adult male population, 70 or 73%, watches the NFL. Might have dropped a little bit since the Colin Kaepernick thing. So what did they do? They decided to, how are we going to expand that? Because the other, 27% of adult males are bookworms, gay guys, people who just don't watch sports, nerds, computer nerds. They don't want simps, wimps. They don't watch sports. So we're never going to get more than 73% of the population of the male population in the United States. They knew this.
You said simps and wimps. I like that phrase. I'm using it.
Paul Tagliabue knew this in 2007. So the first thing they had to do was to expand the female viewership. That was the first growth thing. That's why you no longer have sexy female cheerleaders on the sideline. That's why Roger Goodell, if you can believe this, he actually said this about 7 years ago. I'm determined to take all the violence out of the game. The fucking violence is why we watch the game. That's what makes these guys heroes, because of the pain that they endure to play the most masculine game on the planet, which is American tackle football. So you know the Madden games, right? You play the Madden games, used to be when a guy got injured on the field, the ambulance comes out, and he runs over the other players, and all the guys are like, yeah, and the girls are like, ew, look, his face is all purple. The girls don't like the violence. So that's why Roger Goodell, immediately upon taking over as commissioner, started making the game softer and has continued to make it softer and feminize the game and feminize the game and feminize the game even more. So that's what the agenda is. However, there are also limits to that, because you're never going to get to 73% of the women watching American football. You're only going to get 20, 30%, maybe 40% of women that are really into football the way the guys are. So the next step after that had to be expand the viewership beyond the borders of the United States. So that's where we are now with all these international games, and you're going to have international teams and international leagues. I don't know why they don't just move the Jags to London at this point.
They're trying to. They were trying to take the Bills across into Canada.
So it's all about it's all about growth. And remember, the U.S. population is shrinking a little bit, and it's like it's going to stay pretty stable at 330 million, even after you deport all the illegals, which will maybe happen in the next 3 years. So the only way to grow is to grow overseas. So that, Brian, in a nutshell, is, I believe, what's happening, or the guy that asked the question. That's what I think's happening. So
okay, fair answer. By the way, this is the Reggie Bush event that you were talking about. Fun fact: I was bartending in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl at this game. I was actually sent home,
and then he just does that and gives the ball back to Texas. Why? They basically had the game won at that point. So
yeah, I mean, he made a couple. That juke was incredible. He outran that guy. He avoided him. Ran into two. He saw a guy and he chucked it. It wasn't ahead of him.
Just go down. You just go down. They had a field goal at the very least already, and I think they were up 6 or 8 or something at that point, 9-10. And then he did a couple of other. He fumbled another time down by the goal line in that game too, if I recall. So
was that Matt Leinart to Vince Young?
Matt Leinart, Vince Young. That was the game.
That was the Bush push, right?
Yeah.
The precursor to that. Yeah, the precursor to the tush push. Job is asking start or sit Worthy or Tet. And my answer was, man, you start Worthy, but you try to start Tet at flex. Can't you do both? You should do both. Like, they're both gonna crush it. But once again, Tet's a rookie, so you'll see. But yeah, you got to start Worthy there. Worthy's one of the sleepers. He might be my wide receiver stardom in my stardom sit-em when we get to it, but we'll see.
All right, Panthers, Jags. Jags are 3-point favorites at home.
Panthers, Jags. Interesting thing about this, I saw on the Kroll watching Cowherd the other day. Travis Hunter is listed as starting on offense, but he is second team defense.
So they'll work him in. They'll work him in on nickel and dime packages, you'd imagine, right? Maybe he's not a first, second down, but passing downs.
Yeah,
but he's primarily going to be playing offense, at least for this football game.
I'm going to be very curious to see, because that would be my guess, to stay in the flow and the rhythm of things. Probably start him at wide receiver, be the playmaker you drafted. But yeah, I'd probably say nickel and dime packages. Maybe not first down and second down running downs. We'll see. But you don't draft a guy that high and trade the Browns your next year's first round draft pick unless you're going to run the tires off of this guy. That's what I think. So we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, the number on this game is Jaguars are favored by 3.5. The over/under is 46.5. The Panthers are 2-10 straight up the first 2 weeks of the season. The Panthers are 2-14-1 straight up on the road. But the Jaguars are 3-9 straight up the first 2 weeks of the season. So
this is the game that's on in the corner TV.
This is a corner TV game, boys. So we're flipping the coin on this.
Yeah, this is a game I'm leaving out of my quad box on NFL Sunday Ticket.
Yeah, and with that hook, if you put a gun to my head, I gotta play the Panthers. With that point.
Yeah,
it's not a big travel game here. I mean, North Carolina geographically is really not that far from Jacksonville.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like the Jags have this incredible fan base or great stadium or anything. They don't have much of a home field advantage. But Jim, I gotta like Trevor Lawrence over Bryce Young, and I really gotta like Travis Hunter as an offensive weapon. I think he's going to score at least one touchdown. So I'd probably take the Jags. I wouldn't give the points. I wouldn't bet the game, but I think that Jags probably win this game.
Hence the corner TV game. Yeah, I had the pick segment a couple of days ago. I had Jacksonville winning the game.
I picked Jacksonville straight up as well, and I'd probably go Jacksonville -3 if I had to. But look, like the person Job was asking, who would you start, Worthy or Tetaroya McMillian? Tet's a badass, and Bryce sort of figured some stuff out the second half of last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see a monster game out of him this game. But I think the Jags are a little bit more stabilized and hopefully a little bit healthier than they were last year. So yeah, I would go Jags on this one.
All right, Giants, Redskins. Redskins 6.5-point favorites. At least they were a couple days ago when Jim made this up. What do you got there, Jim?
Yeah, they're still Boyd Sports still has the Redskins at 6.5.
That seems low.
This is a division game. No, I think the number is correct here.
Wow.
As far as betting goes, I think the sharps are on the Giants. I think the public is probably on the Redskins, and that's why this number hasn't deviated that much. But I think the pros are actually on the Giants in this game, getting 6.5.
I mean, Russell Wilson completely changes that offense from what it was last year. Like, he just brings leadership with him.
Changes everything. It changes everything, Brian. I mean that's.
I'm going to have to get used to thinking of the Giants differently. So that's on me.
The Giants are 19-13 against the spread as a road dog. The Giants are 6-3 against the spread versus the Redskins. The Giants are 3-9 straight up the first 2 weeks of the season. As a dog of 6 points or more, the Giants are 44-37 against the spread. And the Redskins are 13-7 against the spread in 2024, last year. So the Redskins were a good team to cover the number. But again, this is a division game, and everything I'm seeing here, you can 6.5 is a big number in a division game. And with the Giants 3-9 straight up the first 2 weeks of the season, you can discount that. You can discount that number because the Giants are getting 6.5, and I think there are more scenarios than not where this number lands anywhere between 1 and 6. So I think the Giants are a strong play here.
Okay.
Well, I got to agree. The only thing is you don't know if the Giants use Russ correctly, he'll do great.
Let him cook.
He's still got all the talent in the world. Let him call his own plays. Let Russ cook. I like the Redskins to win the game. If I was going to bet this game, I would take the Giants in the points because I think this is going to be a close game, and Russ is going to keep them competitive. But again, we don't know how they're going to use Russ. If they do the Sean Payton thing to him, where you can only run the plays that I call and you can only go through the sequence of reads that I give you and you can't scramble, they're going to suck. But I don't know how that's going to go. But who's their head coach? Brian Daboll? Didn't he win Coach of the Year a few years ago? So hopefully they let him innovate, and we'll see. But this is just one with you can't bet the trends because it's a new quarterback and a new situation. But I mean, if I was gonna bet a game, I'm lusting after that 6.5 points with the Giants just because I believe in Russ so much. But it remains to be seen how they use him. So probably not touching it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think that I would not take the Giants on the money line, but it's the 6.5 is kind of tasty.
Mm-hmm.
My instinct is telling me take the Redskins, giving 6.5. That's what my instinct is telling me. But we'll have to see after the week plays out which one of us is more accurate, I suppose.
I'm trying to review. Yeah, I picked the Redskins to win the game. So straight up, yeah. Interesting game, but it's just so hard to know with a new coach, new quarterback, not a new coach, but a new quarterback in a new situation. You just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen there. I mean,
most people are predicting the Giants to be in the bottom 3 when the season shakes out. We'll see how it turns out, but even with Russ, there's not a lot of hope.
Well, I mean,
and the Redskins got better. Like, they didn't just get better last year with Jaden Daniels. they got better with their off-season moves and just having an extra year of preparing and knowing how to play with each other. I think they could take a big step this year. So maybe 6.5 wouldn't be too much.
Well, yeah, the thing is they, you look at their roster and you think it's not that great, but you look at their draft pick last year. What's his name?
Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors. A lot of people think he's going to be one of the best receivers in the game. If not,
by the way, I figured it out, Mike. You're John Stockton. I'm Karl Malone. You toss the assist and I grab it and dunk it with the name.
There you go.
So I'm sorry. You said about Malik. Most people are thinking.
Well, I think he's a fantastic receiver, and
yeah,
and I really, and Russ can still sling it. So you just don't know what's going to happen. So, all right, Bengals giving 5.5. They're 5.5 point favorites against your Browns. Jim,
I have an update on this game.
All right.
Let me give you the update before you make
All right, go ahead.
the pick there, or kind of go through it. The report out of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show coming out today is that the word MRI has been thrown around. Myles Garrett has now been added to the questionable list, and it's rumored that maybe he had an MRI done regarding a hip situation. Kind of rumors, kind of unconfirmed. He was walking without a limp, but they're hearing rumblings from behind the scenes, and mix in Mason Graham could be injured. I'm hoping this isn't accurate, but I'm hearing some concerning rumors at the moment. By the way, just as a caveat to what we are about to tell us, Jim, Bengals, Browns, Bengals giving 5.5.
Well, that's interesting because this game opened at Bengals -6. It's now 5.5. So
it's tightening.
Myles Garrett
Right.
did practice today, they said. So
Oh, good.
full practice, full go. So
the Bengals are 1-11 straight up the first 2 weeks of the season.
wow.
1-11 straight up. The Browns are 10-20 against the spread versus their own division, the AFC North. And this
Jim,
kind of
that's
shadows the stat that you gave earlier, Brian. I've got the Browns. I obviously didn't go back as far as you did. I got the Browns are 2-17-1 straight up in week 1.
Yeah, that's like trash.
So,
it's worse than trash.
You went back a little further. You went back 6 more years than I did.
Well, you know why?
Went
Because
back
I've been going to the home opener game so many times over the last 27 years to watch garbage. I would fly back home from Los Angeles year after year. I'd make my whole one trip home, one per year. Let's go to the home opener and just let down year after year after year by the Cleveland Frowns, the Cleveland Clowns, whatever you want to call them, man. But you haven't been able to call them a legitimate NFL franchise for a long time, unfortunately. But I'm still ready.
What year did Modell move them to Baltimore?
1995, and that left the only team in town was my high school, not really, but my high school football team was 2 years undefeated back to back. So it was fun. It sucked that there was no pro football, but our stadium was packed every game.
So that was 30 years ago, and your stats go back 26 years?
Yeah. They came back in 1999.
Okay, all right.
the year they drafted Tim Couch instead of Donovan McNabb. And I wanted to point out the one win on opening day in the last 12 years for the Bengals. It's 2021, the year they went to the Super Bowl and barely lost to the Rams. So
that was a close game. That was a real close game. I will add something though. I don't know, Jim, what you have access to, but heads up against the Bengals, we have kind of, at least in the Baker Mayfield era, we dominated the Bengals. As of late, we've played the Bengals very tough. We've had a hard time with the Steelers and the Ravens because they're great teams. They're very good teams, you know. But yeah, when it comes to interstate rivalry, we've played the Bengals very tough in the last decade. But 5.5 miles practiced. I'm going to take the Browns. I'll take the Browns in points.
Jim, what do you think? Are you touching this game?
I'm not touching the game. No, there's too many negative factors in this game. But I would, if I had to bet the game, you'd have to take the points. I mean, geographically, it's a close game. It's a division game. 5.5 is a big number, and the Bengals don't do well the first 2 weeks of the season. I mean, 1-11 straight up. I mean,
Well,
it almost screams Browns money line.
The Browns are worse though. They're 2-17-1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's
there's
nothing good to say about either side of this game, but
no.
being a division game, that number doesn't reflect interdivision play. The 2-17 straight up, that's pretty much the whole NFL.
I picked the Bengals on my game picker straight up because I just think they got Joe Burrow. So that's why. That's the advantage they have. When in doubt, pick the team with the better quarterback. Speaking of that, and big numbers, the Cardinals. Speaking of big numbers, 6.5-point favorites on the road against the Saints. Jim?
Yeah, Cardinals are still 6.5. Kyler Murray is 21-9 against the spread on the road.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, this is an indoor game. The Cardinals play indoors. The Saints, as a dog of 6 points or more, are not just the Saints. This is the NFL as a whole. Dogs of 6 points or more are 44-37 against the spread. Not a big disparity, not a big number to look at as far as betting. It's just a number. I mean, I wouldn't take that into consideration one way or the other. In fact, that stat may go away in a couple of weeks. If that 37 starts creeping up next to 40, I'm going to eliminate that. But Kyler Murray is a good road play here. And, the Saints are in transition. They got a new head coach. As we predicted in the middle of the season last year, we said that Dennis Allen was going to, be out, and we were correct. He was out. So.
And by the way, this game it might make an appearance on a couple of picks for my Stardom Situm segment as well.
Yeah. Cardinals are going to win this game. Saints are probably the worst team in football. Spencer Rattler is essentially a rookie. He had 3 or 4 starts, 5 starts last year as a rookie, but new head coach, new coaching staff, new offense. Look at him as a rookie. Cardinals have a decent defense. I don't see any way the Saints win this game. So, 6.5. I wouldn't give that many points, but
No, I think the play here, if you got to bet the game, I would take the Cardinals on the money line.
Cardinals on the money line, yeah. Yep. All right. Jim, Titans, Broncos. Broncos, speaking of large spreads and money line bets, Broncos favored by 8 against the Tennessee Titans. Number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward. What say you, Jim Mitchell?
Yeah, this game opened at 8. It's now 8.5.
Wow.
Big number. The Titans are 2-15 against the spread. The quarterback drafted number 1, which is Cam Ward, is 2-14 against the spread. And 5-15-1 straight up the first game of the season. So that 2-14, even 5-15, that's a huge number. That's why this game is 8.5. Rookie quarterbacks are 16-42-1 straight up in week 1.
That's the Arch Manning statistic.
Dogs of 6 points or more are 44-37 against the spread. Again, that's not significant. The Broncos are 17-23 against the spread. The Broncos are 20-5 straight up in home openers. And the Broncos are 3-9 straight up the first 2 weeks of the season. So kind of a coin flip either way on that. I don't like the number.
You said it moved up to from 8 to 8.5.
It's now 8.5, which means there's more Bronco money coming on.
I think
So
rightfully
the
so.
Sharps and the public are betting the Broncos. This is probably a more public bet than a sharp bet, because sharps hate laying a number that big. Sharps would more often than not just play this game on the money line. But I do like this game. I do like this game, and I'll be putting this game on the money line with a parlay.
Yeah, me too. I think me too. All right. Not much to say about that game. 49ers, 2.5-point favorites on the road against my Seahawks. Jim, what do you think about this particular game?
Game 1 in the new Sam Darnold era.
The 49ers are 6-1 straight up versus the Seahawks. They have won by an average of 15 points a game the last 7 games. So I'm not going to be a homer in this game. I will go ahead and take Santa Clara in this game. I don't know if I'll lay the 2.5. I may put them on the money line. 2.5 is a fair number. So I will more than likely lay the 2.5 on this.
Well, let's add to that Christian McCaffrey has been added to the injury report. He's dealing with a calf issue, I believe.
Yep.
Really?
And yes.
Mhm.
Calf injury. Yeah.
I mean, you got to figure that the 49ers understand that and have their backup running back plan in place. 49ers are one of those running back by committee type things where, remember how the Broncos, whether it's Terrell Davis or fill in the blanks, Reuben Drones, whoever you put there was rushing for 1,500 yards because they just had such a good system. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey being out that's a blow to the Niners.
Wow. Well, he's not out. He's just got a calf injury. I think he's just on the injury list.
And when I say out, let me just say,
yeah,
I mean not having him ready to go at something near 100%. That takes a big weapon off the table for Brock Purdy. So something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got an update to that, Brian. The number moved from 2.5 to 1.5. So the McCaffrey, they're saying McCaffrey is worth a point. Is what they're saying.
Okay, and we'll see. Like you said, Mike, maybe he will end up playing. Maybe he'll play great. Who knows? But when you just start hearing the rumblings a couple days before the game, you go, shit. Are we back at this again? All the Christian McCaffrey fantasy football owners that against better judgment keep drafting him. He's great when he's there, but can you rely on him? I don't know.
See, now I don't know if I want to bet that game. If I was getting 2.5, I'm taking the Seahawks all day long. I think they're going to win the game straight up.
Yeah, the Suncoast is 1.5 now, Mike.
I guess this is a test of whether I really believe in my team or not. I think the Seahawks win this game. I think it's like 24-20. I don't see a lot of offense from the 49ers coming out of this game. They'll make plays here and there. They'll score some points because Brock Purdy is good. But I really liked it a lot better getting 2.5 than getting 1.5. But we'll see. We'll see on that one. So interesting. That if something screws up my parlay, that's going to be it. So
now, how many teams are you going for on your parlay? How many?
Well, I'm thinking now I'm going to leave the Seahawks out of it. I'm going to take, as it stands now, I'm taking the Broncos on the money line, the Steelers given the 3, and the Cardinals on the money line. This is what I've got. So I don't know.
So just a 3-teamer, Mike?
Yeah,
So you got two. You got 2 in the money line and one with the points.
And the Steelers with the points, yeah.
So what's
I think
the return?
I think there's
What's
a
the
reasonable
return
chance.
on your money? 2.5 to 1.
I don't know. I'll have to go look it up.
Yeah, it's probably
I've already
2.5,
gotten Seahawks
3 to
bet.
1. If you had
I've already got-
if you had a 3-teamer and laid all the points, it would be a solid 6-1. So
I'm not
if you got
laying
2
8
teams
points.
if you got 2 teams on the money line, you're probably going to get 2.5, 3-1.
Well,
You got a
maybe I'll
hedge.
talk to the guy at the window.
You got a hedge game on that?
No.
No.
You want to give me one?
Um,
All right. So that's what we think about the Seahawks and the 49ers. We really aren't sure what's going to happen. Lions, Packers. Packers favored by 2.5. Jim, what do you think about this game?
yeah, this is
Sunday night. Is this the Sunday night game? Am I wrong?
this is the late Sunday night game. So
Yeah.
this would be a good hedge game, Mike, if you want to make a 4-teamer, because you got 2 teams on the money line, so you're not going to be getting a big number on your return. So if you want to protect your ticket, you could throw this game on there, and then come back over the top. Say like if you had the Lions plus 2.5, you could come back over the top and bet the Packers minus 2.5, and the worst you do is break even. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, but you can explain it to me later.
Yeah, financially, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. All right.
Oh, hold on. But
So-
why does it make a lot of sense financially? Quick, like the bullet point on that.
Because his other 3 games now this is not a possible play if one of your games on your ticket is in the afternoon. So in other words, if you have a game that starts
Oh, hold on. Can I jump in? It's one of those where you can expand your parlay or you can just cut your losses. Is that what you mean?
well, both. You're both expanding your parlay and you're minimizing your losses, because if you're absolutely certain and you've got a stone cold lock in your own mind that 3 of those games are going to win, those are the first 3 games that you're playing. Say, like for argument's sake, if you laid $100 on the 3-team parlay that Mike just discussed, and if he threw that Lion-Packer game on it, he increased his payout from possibly 3-1 to close to 5.5-1 just by adding that team. Now, if he plays this game on the money line, it's not going to be as high as 5.5-1.
Yeah.
Because he's got 2 games. He'll have 3 games on the money line on the parlay, and percentage wise, a money line play on a parlay won't pay out as much as if you're betting the number, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're betting the number on this game, if he has those 3 games locked up, Mike jumps in his Volkswagen and drives up to the Suncoast and lays 110 on the other side of this football game. The worst thing that happens is he gets his money back, especially on a half point.
Reno's saying that's like betting every horse in a horse race.
No, well, no, it's not. How
It's a
many
very
horses run in a horse
specific,
race?
under specific circumstances. It's much more strategic than that.
The bottom line is, when you're parlaying football games, the bottom line is not to lose any money. That's the bottom line. You're doing this for, if you're betting $100 on a NFL parlay, you're doing this for entertainment purposes. You're not doing it to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go through the Lions Packers info, Jim. It looks like all Lions to me on this one. So
Yeah, the Lions, Packers. This game is Packers 2.5 right now. The game opened at 2, so it went up to 2.5, which means there's money coming in on Green Bay. The Lions are 37-11 straight up.
wow.
The Lions are 12-6 against the spread last year. So they're 2-1 cover last year against the number. Jared Goff is 19-4 against the spread on the road. That's a huge number.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions are 7-1 straight up against Green Bay. The last 8 games. Jared Goff is undefeated in week 1. This goes back to when he was a Ram.
Wow.
Wait, this is every year?
Every year,
He's ever played.
undefeated in week 1.
He's never lost in week 1. Wow.
What year was he drafted? Goff?
2016, first overall pick.
All right. That's a very interesting stat.
Yeah.
Okay. 9-0.
Packers, Green Bay is 15-3 straight up the first 3 weeks of the season. That's the only good number I have for Green Bay in this game.
That's
Now,
the only good news there is.
Is Micah Parsons going to play?
Yeah, as far as I know, he's playing. Yeah.
Well, but
Oh,
you're
no,
asking
Aiden
because of the
we know
back
Aiden
issue.
Hutchinson. We know Aiden Hutchinson's playing. Yeah.
All right.
I don't think the Lions fall off that much as everybody. Everybody's just thinking that it's the end of the world for Detroit. I don't believe that. I don't think the loss of Aaron Glenn is going to make that big of a deal. I think Coach Johnson's leaving is probably a bigger detriment to the team because I don't know if they're going to keep the same plays or is the offensive coordinator going to change the Bible, for Detroit and make everybody learn a new language. You got to ask yourself that. But I think Jared Goff is a solid quarterback.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jared Goff featured in the quarterbacks series on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, it's cool. I like this. Peyton Manning and someone else are the executive producers. Peyton and somebody else, but it's cool. That's a cool series. I like Jared Goff. He's like if Ryan Gosling had a cousin. Like you look at him, it's like that looks like a guy from the movie. Yeah, it's that guy. Like a weird looking cousin.
Ryan Gosling is going to play him in the Jared Goff story.
Yeah.
All right, Jim. A couple more games here. You got nothing on Houston and the Rams. You don't have anything on them? Is that right?
No. I do not have anything on this game.
I have something on this game. When Nick Chubb is healthy, he's a force to be reckoned with. We haven't seen that for 2 years. We have healthy Nick Chubb. Joe Mixon is out for at least 4 weeks. You know what? Until Nick Chubb shows me that healthy Nick Chubb is not an absolute game wrecker, I think Nick Chubb is going to have a monster game, and that's going to give me a little bit of a boost for the Texans. By the way.
All right. So Ravens, Bills 1.5 point favorites on the Sunday night game at home.
This game is supposedly going to be a high scoring game. The over under on this is 50.5. This game was fluctuating. I've got Baltimore now favored 1.5. Is that what you have, Mike?
No, it says Bills are getting 1.5. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Bills are getting 1.5. This game opened as Buffalo being favored by 1.5.
Yeah.
So this game has flipped for whatever reason. Well, I don't know if there were any injuries. I haven't seen any, but by the number moving that far, that means somebody walked in with a suitcase full of money.
Yeah.
So now the Ravens are favored by 1.5. John Harbaugh is 12-5 against the spread in week 1. Lamar Jackson is 24-8 straight up. Jackson is 26-10 against the spread as a favorite of -3 or less, or if he's installed as a dog. So that 1.5 falls within that margin. The Bills are 10-0 straight up at home. You likey? 10-0.
Significant.
Significant. The Bills are 12-8 against the spread last year. And the Bills are 12-6 straight up versus playoff teams. So this would be
regular season.
If you don't like the Lion Packer game, Mike, this would be a game that you could hedge your bet with.
I have
You
no
could take-
idea who's going to win this game, though. I don't.
Well-
I picked the Bills because they were at home. So
Either way, if you're sold on your first 3 games, this is your get your money back game.
yeah,
The worst you can do is break even.
yeah. All right. I wouldn't touch that game because I have no idea who's going to win. I could see the Bills winning at home, and I could see Lamar and the Ravens coming in and just dusting them because I don't really know who the Bills' skill position guys are.
Well, let me tell you this. They say the injury updates on this game. Ravens concerns about tight end Isaiah Likely with his foot, fullback Patrick Ricard soft tissue and not being spotted at practice. On the Bills, wide receiver Khalil Shakir expected to return from a high ankle sprain, and that would boost their offense. You said that somebody brought a big load of cash to dump it. Is that really, Jim, the major moving factor most of the time when there's a change in the line like that? Just a bunch of betting. They just have to balance it.
Yeah, if there's no significant injury that you can see, again, the answer to all your questions is money. Somebody put a large bet, and it may be, you may be able to get the game pick 'em at another casino. But what I'm saying is in Las Vegas at Boyd Sports, I haven't checked Red Rock or any of those sports books, but at Boyd Sports up at the Suncoast, the game is now 1.5, and it was Bills favored by 1.5. So for some reason or other, the Ravens are now favored in the game, and usually translated as there was a lot of money coming in on Baltimore.
Gotcha.
That's what moves the number, because it's the casino sports book. Their main goal is to get an even amount of money placed on either side, because they make their money off of the juice that's paid.
Yeah.
So in other words, that's how they make their money, not by the amount of money that's actually bet on the game. They want to keep the money even on both sides of the game.
Mm-hmm. All right. And that brings us what? Vikings, Bears then. Last one?
Monday game. Yeah. Vikings unbelievably favored on Monday night on the road against the Bears.
Well, the Bears have got to prove that they're consistent or legitimate. They're not there yet.
Okay. That's all I have to say. It's JJ McCarthy and JJ McCarthy. What do you think about this game?
But they have JJ Justin Jefferson, who I value much higher than you do, apparently.
Yeah. Who's great in the first 3 quarters. Yeah. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, Vikings opened at 1.5, and they are still 1.5. The over/under in this went up. It went from 43.5 to 44.5, which is a big number for the Bears. The Bears are not historically an over bet team as far as going over the number. The Vikings are 8-2 straight up versus the Bears the last 10 years, or the last that would be the last 5 years.
Yeah, last 10 games.
Yeah. Rookie quarterbacks are 16, 42, and 1 straight up in week 1. Now you can take that both ways. I mean, you can list JJ McCarthy as a rookie quarterback in this situation, because I don't think he took a snap last year. Am I right?
No, he's a red shirt rookie.
No.
Yeah. So technically, as far as I'm concerned, he's still a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't played a game in the NFL yet. So rookie quarterbacks are 16-42 straight up in week 1. The Bears are 12-31 straight up so far the last 43 games.
But I think their trajectory is in the right spot. I think they've added a bunch of key players. I think.
Yeah, and they've got a much better coach this year.
Yeah, and they got to prove it, though. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm not betting this game, but I like the Bears at home because of 2 reasons. Dan Campbell, new head coach, is going to get the most out of Caleb Williams, and JJ McCarthy. Those are the 2 reasons I prefer the Bears.
I mean, Ben Johnson, right, Mike?
Ben Johnson,
Yeah.
That's what did I say? What did I say?
You said the head coach of Detroit.
Oh, the Bears. Yeah.
The Bears.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those were trying to switch the screen here. Now we got a different.
There you go.
All right, we'll go with this one. Yeah, I wanted to do a stardom sit-em segment. Thank you, Jim. All of those betting tips. Yeah, you guys are Vegas guys. Like you're super into the gambling, and I don't even want to download the app and get started. Mike, you like to go into the casino in person, and man, so many people
Jim
just
is
pull out their
super-
cell phone.
Jim is super into gambling. He's just teaching me to be a degenerate gambler. I'm learning. I'm the Padawan learner of degenerate gambling. Jim
I'm
is
I'm the bad influence.
No,
The penultimate
Jim
degenerate.
Jim is the master.
Hey, we should start an X account for Jim. Call him penultimate degenerate. Yeah, it's too wordy, but anyway. All right, let me do this. I had a few stardom sit-em situations for fantasy football. I've been playing for a lot of years. I consider 2 games to be the best games on earth to compete in. I think Texas Hold'em and I think fantasy football, because they're games you could play regardless of age. You know, it's not like playing a pickup game at the YMCA, a basketball game. Eventually your knee won't work or you get fat or you're injured, whatever. But you can play Texas Hold'em and you can play fantasy football, and they're super tough to win. It's very rewarding to win a tournament or to win a championship in fantasy. So I love it. And I have a few pick'em, a few sit-em and stardom and sit-em. First off, quarterback, stardom. These are going to be QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, and kicker that I would like to start this week. I say start Kyler Murray. I know you're not a fan of those Cardinals, but the Saints defense has allowed the 6th most passing yards and the 2nd most rushing yards to quarterbacks in 2024. And that's sort of what Kyler Murray does, the dual threat quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and say he would be a good option to start at quarterback if you have him. Also, starting at running back. Running back Travion Henderson. In the preseason and in the playoff run last season with the Buckeyes, he was a home run hitter. And you just got to play that kind of guy. Raiders defense kind of middle of the road against running backs last year. So I think he's a strong RB2 or better. Keep your eye on Travion Henderson. Xavier Worthy, as came up in the questions in the chat room there. Rashee Rice is gone. He's out. He's suspended. So the top target of Pat Mahomes is going to be Xavier Worthy. You must start him. He had 16 and 9 points against the Chargers last year, and the Chargers tied for 5th most touchdowns allowed to wide receivers. So KC is going to be pass heavy, and I think Xavier Worthy would be a good option there. At tight end, David Njoku. Well, look, he has a connection with Joe Flacco. And in the 4-game span in 2023, when they were clicking, he led all tight ends in fantasy points during that stretch. And I think they're going to settle back into that. Cincy defense is very favorable. They gave up the 2nd most targets to tight ends last year. So Njoku is a must start. One of those players, even if he's not your first tight end, you put him at a flex for this game. I'm going to put the Cardinals. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Okay. For Cardinals, I would put them at defense. The Saints offense and Spencer Rattler, as you mentioned, Mike, it's just, we don't know what we're getting. New coach, new quarterback. Just start the Cardinals defense. They're
when your top pick is an offensive tackle, you're not going to score a lot of touchdowns. So yeah.
Did you say Rashee Rice is suspended?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Yes.
Imagine that. What was that? Bad behavior? Yeah.
Dick bag behavior. Yeah.
And by the way,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable indeed. And then Chase McLaughlin at kicker, you would start him. He had 162 fantasy points in 2024, which was 5th among kickers. And in the 2 games against Atlanta last season, he had 22 points. And so, look, I think Tampa's going to put up a lot of points in that game. So I would start him. Any thoughts on any of those players that you would agree or disagree with me?
I agree. Kyler Murray is who I would probably take, given how bad the Saints are likely to be. I don't know about Njoku, but you came up with some good stats. And yeah, I think the Worthy reasoning is sound. and I think the Cardinals D is sound reasoning. So,
All right. Let's see. I would say sit him. JJ McCarthy, first NFL start. Bears defense can be absolutely filthy. They gave up the second fewest fantasy points and the fewest passing touchdowns to quarterbacks in 2024. That's not a good. That doesn't mesh. That is not good. On the road, on a tough Monday night matchup, super risky start. I would hold on to JJ McCarthy. Please do not play him. DeAndre Swift. He is the lead running back in Chicago, but the Bears offense might be slow under new coordinator Ben Johnson. Vikings defense was pretty tough on running backs last year, allowing the 10th fewest fantasy points at the position. So you got Moore, Odunze, Kmet, and a low-scoring game projection. So Swift is a pretty risky start at running back, maybe RB2 or flex at best. Please do not rely on him. Deebo Samuel, sit him. Why? Well, his new role in Washington's new offense with Cliff Kingsbury, we don't know. We just don't know. And Deebo's a particular kind of feller. So Giants defense allowing the 4th fewest points to wide receivers last year. He has a limited target share and a tough matchup, so it's a risky start. Just be cautious week 1 on Deebo Samuel. Tight end, sit him. Dalton Kincaid. Ravens defense held him to 1 catch for 11 yards last year in the playoffs. He's splitting targets now with Dawson Knox, and Baltimore's physical defense limits his ceiling in a high-scoring game. So I would sit Dalton Kincaid. The Bills, sit them because Lamar is pretty incredible, and they're averaging 30 points in their 2-20-24 matchups. So there's a 50.5 over-under. I would sit the Bills defense if you have him. And then Daniel Carlson, kicker, Las Vegas. They think it's going to be a low-scoring game, Vegas and New England. So don't roll with him. Those are my sit-ems. Any thoughts on those?
no, I don't really disagree with any of them. I mean, I would say, they're fine by me. So that's where I'm going.
All right. Any thoughts, Jim?
So you like you're playing the Arizona defense? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saints are just until they show me anything that's stable. You almost play the matchups. It doesn't in fantasy football. It almost doesn't even matter on the free agent waiver wire. You could have some random team defense that's just a middle of the pack nothing burger, but if they're playing a trash team, grab them off the waiver wire, start them that 1 week, and just keep pounding the terrible team, because it's just, you get to pin your ears back and get the sacks, the turnovers, and you just steamroll some teams. So yeah, it's not about the Cardinals being great. It's about the Saints being ain't.
My son-in-law Dave agrees with your pick as far as the Cardinals defense.
Sounds like a smart fella, that Dave.
Dave would go along with that, right, Mike?
Dave, my Dave, probably.
No, my Dave.
You both have Daves? Double Daves?
Angie's Dave.
Angie's Dave. Oh, I would think so.
Yeah.
Double Daves.
Right.
The thing we didn't do as we wrap today's show up, by the way, thank you everybody for watching. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Please tell some friends, copy this show link and text it to them and go, hey, follow Strictly Football this year. We didn't make any picks for like MVP or defensive player of the year or offensive player of the year. We didn't have anything like that. I know we didn't even prep for anything like that. And I know we're trying to wrap today's show, but any final thoughts?
Political, who even knows?
Offensive player of the year,
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Smith-Njigba.
You see it happening.
Player of the year.
Darnold is going to turn him into Justin Jefferson for 3 quarters out of the game.
Yeah, not in the fourth quarter.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, well, we don't, but we can have those discussions later. You realize we've been on the air for like 4.5 hours over 2 days now. We're going to have to find a way to cut the show down next week, okay? Because I'm doing 1 day and I'm not doing 4.5 hours. Yeah. I love football, but I don't love you guys that much.
Yeah, I used to get $68 an hour, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. All right. Well, it's great to have football back. I'm excited. Let's get the season off. Season's already off to a start. Let's keep it rolling. And I got to decide what I'm going to bet and how much I'm going to bet.
Now, are you going to alert us and put a post up and tag at TNAM Football and share it around so we can follow what you're picking in real time? Do you?
Sure.
Awesome. So stay following us, Mike. Where are the best places to follow you on X?
At Seahawk Boy Mike B for all the football stuff on Twitter X. Also, Mike Barra 333 on Twitter X for there's football stuff on there, but it's always mirrored over on Seahawk Boy. So that's it. And MikeBarra.blogspot.com. Come to Las Vegas, 12th, 13th, 14th for the Las Vegas Alien Event and Biomed Expo.
Oh.
Week from this weekend.
Oh, nice. And we're going to get Jim set up with a Twitter account, with an X account, perhaps. Stay tuned. Allegedly. Jim has nothing to pitch, but we appreciate having Jim here every week.
Yeah.
Jim's not a social media guy.
No.
We'll
get Regina to do it for you.
When I was working, I had bad experience with social media guys.
Yeah. Well, Bill Shatner has somebody doing all his tweets. We'll have Regina do your tweets. It's that simple. Put it that way.
So you're going to put her to work on my Twitter also.
There you go. You can't stay retired forever, Jim. You got to come out at some point.
If we can't fix it, you don't pay.
And there we have it. We're going to try to fix it, and if we can't, you don't pay. Thank you all for watching us. We're going to be back on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Is that the plan? We're all good?
Yeah. Tuesday works. We could do Thursday. Maybe we should discuss that over the weekend, whether we want to do Tuesday or Thursday. I think Thursday gives Jim more of a chance to prepare. But
hopefully, I may have to go to St. Louis and purchase an automobile. So hopefully we can do that.
That's a very specific item on your quest list. Sounds good. Good luck with that.
Jim has a taste for a certain brand of precision German engineering.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if that occurs, we want the full update on next week's episode, and we'll just stay posted on our socials, and we'll let you know when the next show is. Tentatively penciled in for 6 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. Perhaps we'll see. All right. So until then, Mike, when's your next show, or when is your next broadcast? Are you back to?
Dude, not until Monday. I'm just giving it up. Just forget it. Just leave me alone.
Heck yeah. Football time. Let's all have a good time. Thank you all for being here on Strictly Football Season 2. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye now.